Good morning, everybody. Welcome to About Time. I'm
How's it
Karan.
going,
It's
Karan?
Complicated Age. Thank you, Chris, for actually interrupting me, but that's not a problem. Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Good. Take it along, Chris. We've got an interesting show today. And
Yeah,
could you
so
introduce our
today,
guest?
we're joined by Time of the Week, and we will be doing the same format as yesterday, where each one of the wonderful people will have a minute to answer, and Karan can decide to cut them off or let them keep going.
Very chivalrous of me. So let's bring on our first guest, which she'll be staying for a little bit, lot shorter time, which is there's Sam.
Hello.
There's the other Sam.
Hi.
Hello.
And here's Lucy.
Not Sam. Hi.
Yeah. How are you ladies doing today?
Really good. Good. Happy to be here.
Thank you for having us.
No, thank you for coming. We needed some glamour on the show. All right, so let's start off with a little bit of a wrist check. If we are wearing timepieces, so we'll go in the same order. Sam in the US will start, then Sam in the UK, and then Lucy.
Sweet. I am wearing my Tudor Black Bay 32 on a blue suede strap, my favorite. And I just finished college, so this is my college watch, and I love it. So.
Nice. Sam?
It's Formula One day today, I believe. So it's kind of a borrowed bezel, but Amiga Speedmaster Schumacher legend Schumacher edition.
Beautiful, beautiful. And Lucy?
Today, mine is also a borrowed bezel, but I'm wearing the Nautilus 3712.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
Beautiful.
I've got all fancy today.
There you go. Chris, according to Dan in the comments, you are the real glamour. So,
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you have on?
I have my Seiko Sarb 33.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Cool.
A little bit of a Breitling plug because I'm going to be timing you guys with this chronograph, but I have my Ulysse Nardin Marine Tourbillon on today.
Very nice.
Nice.
Perfect. So, first of all, I want to wish everybody, whoever's on the channel, if there are any more ladies on the channel, happy Mother's Day to all the ladies. And we're going to start off the show very simple. We're going to go asking questions. We're going to ask questions to all the ladies and Chris, obviously. We'll go in order. We'll start with Sam again. So if I can have everybody on mute, and then we'll go to the next person. So are we ready? All right. So Sam, I'm going to unmute you. You actually, you need to do that. Yeah, perfect. So what is a watch you would show someone if they look like Chris? Did you just type this? What is a watch you would show someone if they look like they're getting into watches? All right. There you go.
Ooh, the gateway watch that I would probably show somebody, maybe in my collection at least, would be probably my Seiko 5. It's a great size. The specific one is 36 millimeter. Great size, looks good on everybody, comes in a whole bunch of different colors as well. And especially, I would go for an automatic, and that's a great automatic watch. I don't really want to show a quartz. I want to show all the coolness of a automatic that can bring. So, but of course, if you want a quartz, go for it. But I would definitely show my Seiko 5.
Gorgeous. Lovely timepiece. And Sam, you?
I would probably go for an Oris. I've got an Aquis, so probably that would be my sort of point direction. But I think Oris probably as a brand covers, pilots watches, dive watches, kind of adventure watches. Really good price point. Again, automatic. I think if someone's getting into watches, you want to kind of steer them to the automatic side of things first of all. And yeah, great sort of, it's a Swiss brand, so you can explain the sort of Swiss history behind watchmaking. It's an independent brand, and obviously they support lots of great causes. And you know, everyone loves Oris Bear as well. So just sort of throw that in there. And I think if you were to show somebody that the Oris catalogue, most people would be able to kind of pick something out of it that they quite like. Different colours, different straps, you know, switching things up as well. Open case back, a lot of them, so you can actually see the movement, you can explain the movement.
Yes, I wanted to do that. 1 minute up. I had to mute you. Yes. All right. Sorry about that. I forgot to tell you guys. It's only a minute. I'm going to mute you guys. I am brutal. All right, Lucy, your turn.
Does that have to be from our collection?
Can be from any.
If we're going for, I'm going to go with my collection because I would probably suggest the Smith's Everest. It's a fantastic watch. It's a good all-rounder, black dial, nice and simple, can go with all different things, all different outfits. You can change all the straps up on it. You can have it smart, you can have it casual. The brand itself, if you want to do your research on it, it's got a really, really good history, really good price point as well. And yeah, I just think it's a fantastic starter piece.
Great answer. You did only 30 seconds. Damn it.
I'm literally like racing through the question. I'm like, I can't be muted. I can't be muted.
There has to be some controversy on the show. You got to mute people. Go over a minute so it feels good. Everybody has to get that feeling, right?
Feels good for you.
I know. Christopher, do you want to answer that? Chris just stays on mute.
So,
Anyway.
yeah, I would go with Hamilton Jazzmaster. So it's pretty affordable, and you can see right away, you know, it's mechanical, especially from the front, and you know, it's a little easier for someone who, you know, is coming from Apple Watches or whatever it is to understand. Oh, there's mechanics behind it, and it's pretty attractive, I think, and a very, I guess, normal, average kind of size. So I think people can, most wrist sizes would be able to fit it.
All right. Good. All right. So the next question will start with actually UK Sam now. And Sam in the US, you just point out at your watch if you're rushing, then we can move to you as well. All right. All right. So UK Sam, how important are watch specifications such as type of lume to you when buying a timepiece?
Oh, that's a tough one. I guess it's the reason behind the reason behind why you're wanting to buy the watch. I think it's good to look up the details, but maybe not get too hung up on the specifications, especially if you're quite indecisive. I think you could be like, oh, that's got that lume compared to that, and it's 39 mil and that's 38.5 millimeter. I think ultimately you need to get hold of the watch, get it on your wrist, and does it have that? Like, yes, I love it. I think is probably one of the most important things. But it's good to have specifications if you're doing comparisons, maybe sort of from a financial point of view, you know, which one's the best value for money. Let's kind of look at what movement's in it, etc. That kind of thing. But ultimately, buy what you like.
Wait, keep going. I need to.
Oh no, this is really difficult to get it. I'm gonna have to start setting my own chronograph, aren't I?
You made it on time.
Oh, the other thing I was going to say, we need to get little signs so when we're muted, we could hold up the sign.
That's true. All right, Lucy, your turn.
Unmute myself. Depends on what you're looking for in a watch, really. Specifications like type of lume, to me, aren't that interesting. I really don't mind at all. It's not something I look for in a watch. However, water rating is often quite important. Size of case, lug width, those sort of specifications are quite important depending on what you're looking for criteria-wise. You know, you could love a watch, but if it's 19 mil or 21 mil, it's going to be quite hard to get hold of straps. But if you know you're only ever going to wear it on that bracelet, it's not a problem. So yeah, I think it fully depends on on the specification that you're looking for and what you're looking to add to the collection.
Nice, nice. So basically, you would say that, an open case back doesn't really matter, loom doesn't really matter. It's just the specification and how it fits on your wrist. Great answer. Chris? Chris, you're on mute already. All right, 1 minute done. See you, Chris. Sam?
Dang, that was quick. For me, it does matter a little bit. Just just if you're discovering a new piece, you need to know if it's something you would be willing to look at. And certain specifications do matter when you're trying to decide between two different pieces. So I was looking at a Black Bay 58 and a Seamaster, for example, and the Seamaster had a ceramic bezel, a date, an open case back, an adjustable bracelet on the wrist. So all those added together would push me towards that piece, especially once you know what are the different, even once some of the specifications even out, like they're both in-house movements and things like that, then it does matter.
All right, thank you. Damn, you didn't continue. I wanted to mute you properly. Sam, you've got a lot of fans in the chat right here. So
I feel the same way that everyone else has been saying. I think I just mainly look for the size, the lug to lug, how it's going to wear. Obviously, I think I make my final decision when I get it on my wrist. Of course, people always will have their own views and little pickiness, but loom isn't really something that I look for. But that's okay. I think for a lot of people, that's just something like a really specific detail that bothers them. Like, for example, a lot of people have asked me about my doxa and how the loom is, and people really complain about how the loom doesn't last that long. And I'm like, well, I'm never in a dark situation where I instantly need to look at my watch and not know what time it is. So it's fine. It fits well. It looks good. That's all I care about. So yeah, I'm not that extremely picky when it comes to certain specifications of a watch, as long as it looks good, feels good.
Sorry.
But I have to go.
Okay.
So I'm going to say goodbye.
Bye. Thank you for coming in.
Last day of work. Woohoo!
Okay, take care. Thank you. We'll see you soon. All right. So here's Lucy. It's Lucy's turn. So just so you guys know, please pardon me, all these questions are from Chris. These are not my questions.
I dread to think what's about to be asked.
I'm reading. All right. What would be a good Mother's Day gift? I would assume good Mother's Day watch. Okay. What would be a good Mother's Day watch? Probably if you had to gift your mother or anybody, what would be a good gift?
That's a bit of a vague one, because I'm guessing on the pretense of this question, your mother is into watches.
Yes, but have you seen the
Maybe?
big person just below you? He asked that question.
Yeah, fair enough. If she was into watches, it would depend on what she wanted. If she just wanted a watch and she wasn't into watches, I'd probably go quartz, just because mums are really busy. They've got lots to do. Quartz is probably the best way to go. It's low maintenance. Something with a nice simple dial, maybe a mother of pearl dial. God, I'm literally reeling off everything.
It's all right. You can take more than a minute now. No, we can take a little bit over a minute because now we are one guest short, so it's fine. So if you had to pick a timepiece, for instance, what I'm assuming is probably like an Omega DeVille, you would say? Quartz?
Yeah. So I've got a little vintage Omega DeVille quartz, and that is absolutely perfect. It's a good size. I think it's 34, so it covers a lot of bases. It looks good on the wrist. It's not too blingy. It wears well with pretty much everything again. And again, with it being quartz, it's low maintenance. So I think that would probably be the way to sway it if it's a mum that's not really into watches but just wants to watch.
Oh, nice answer. So we're going still in order, so we'll go with Chris next.
I would definitely go with the Cartier, so something like a Panther or Ballon Bleu. You know, if they're not into watches or if they are, I think it fits both categories. Just because I have my own mom that I know she doesn't really follow watches, but she was.
You have your own mom. Cool.
I do.
So do I.
That's
I have my
exactly
own
what I was
mom too.
thinking. I was like, doesn't everyone have a mum?
I think everybody has their own mom.
Yeah, I think
Right.
probably a Ballon Bleu actually. It's not super common in that you would see it, you know, every day on someone's wrist, but no, not in azimuth. But yeah, and you can get them in quartz. So you know, if you have someone who you're gifting that's not, you know, couldn't be bothered with the mechanics of it, but still wants to just throw something on, then definitely, I think that's a good choice.
Perfect. Sam?
I want to say, well, sort of like my out there idea,
But
few
for
Breitling
your own
lovers.
mom, all right? Not for
Yeah, so I would love to put her in, or give her something like the new sort of Breitling Chronomat, sort of, you know, the automatic, slightly bigger. Well, actually, I saw one recently and it's slimmer than I thought it was. With a relay bracelet, maybe a bit of a diamond bezel. But I think it would be a little bit too big for my mum, and going on what I sort of see quite a lot of at work, I think it is the, you know, the Omega Constellation, Longines, Le Grand Classique, like Tag Heuer, Aqua Racer, you know, the pretty mother of pearl dial, diamond bezel, quartz on a bracelet, wear it every day, you know, can get it, maybe not go swimming in it, but you can get it wet and it's pretty durable. So that I would love to like give my mum a big sort of 38 mil Breitling and be like, there you go, wear that.
You know what would also be a really nice timepiece to give mother, your own mom, would be the older 24, the Patek 24. It's classic, it's rectangular, and it'll take all your money. So, yeah.
Well, yeah.
For a quartz watch. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. So, Chris, I'm going to ask you your own question because we're going in order. How important are trends, or what is popular in what you buy?
So for me, I would say trends are important only that it's what's being made during that period of time. So, for example, the couple of watches I bought last year and the year before, blue was, you know, really, really popular. So that's just what was being made. And maybe if they had come out with a yellow watch or something, I would have thought about it. So it's just the watches that you know, you have to choose from, and so that's why I have the Grand Seiko that I do and the Omega. So
Very nice. I just want to answer one question in the chat right here. Just because I'm Indian, that doesn't mean Patek turns into Patel, David. Thank you. Sam, go right ahead.
So the question again, how important are trends? Was that?
Or what is popular in what you buy?
Yeah, I think yeah, you know, like to kind of say, buy what you like, don't be affected by it. But also there is something kind of exciting about like getting excited with everyone else about a watch when a watch comes out and everyone goes, can't wait to see it. Like the new Tudor 925, I haven't seen it in person yet, but I would almost love to be the person that gets one first and goes, yeah, like I've got it, come on, let's everyone sort of have a look at it. So yeah, bit of both. One extreme, I want to wear something that nobody else has seen, but I also want to be part of the gang and have the watches that everyone's talking about as well. I just have both, have them all.
Oh, just so you guys know, I'm not muting anybody, so you can go a little over a minute now. So you don't have to rush through the answers. We've got time now.
Yeah.
So, Lucy?
Yeah, trends don't bother me. Like Chris said, if it's available, then it's trending. That's great. But I tend to like watches that are maybe a bit alternative. So something a little bit out of the box, something that not many people have. That's probably why I like vintage so much. So for me, if everyone's loving it, and I kind of then like it less, because everyone's like, oh my god, I love this, this is amazing, you have to have one, and then everyone goes out and they all sheep together and buy it, and it could be a fantastic piece, but to me, I'm like, I don't want to see it now because it's all anyone's talking about. I'm going to go here and look at alternative ones on my own, but yeah, that's, to me, it's just really not a thing that I care about.
So basically, a green dial watch wouldn't impress you anymore. Right?
Depends. They're ruining blue. They ruined blue last year.
Very true.
There are some killer green dials out there, definitely, but I'm not going to be like, oh, everyone's talking about green dials, I have to go out and buy a green dial watch to fit in.
No, very true. I mean, people have experimented. I just received the Breitling Premier in green, and the Salmon as well.
Dan occasionally likes things sponsoring this episode.
He is.
We're all talking about Breitling.
There you go. No, but the Salmon dial is way more prettier than the Pistachio. I love that watch, actually, the Daytona. All right, Sam. Do collaborations make a watch more or less attractive when deciding on a watch? I think that's what Lucy was answering as well.
If you like the collaboration, then it's great. If you like the watch but don't really agree with the collaboration, then it almost ruins the watch for you, I think, doesn't it? Because you might not really kind of get it. For example, Breitling Norton. Right, I'm not bothered about having a Norton motorcycle on my dial.
Right.
So I probably would, sway away from it. But then like the Oris, all the good causes that they do really almost sways me to like the watch more, knowing that sort of profits from the watch go back to the cause. Bremont do a lot where they're limited editions where profits from the sale of the watch go back into into a good cause. So yeah, I think it does. I do like it. Often they're limited edition pieces as well, which has a bit of an appeal. So yeah, I probably, for the most part, if I agree with it, I think it's a good thing. But yeah, you don't want companies doing too much of them. I don't know. There's just a sort of a chance that they go a little bit over the top sometimes.
Yeah, there are a lot of charities now. There are a lot of other things, and it somehow makes me not believe some of these things as well. Back in the day, and before we get to Lucy as well, when IWC was doing, which I love IWC tremendously, but they did the Plastiki run. I don't know if you guys remembered, where what's Mr. Rothschild, who's now a Breitling ambassador, again coming back to Breitling, but made that boat in San Francisco with millions of plastic bottles and sailed everywhere. But there was so much advertisement on it, and so many books, and so many papers, and so many things that they were actually killing trees to fix another cause. So I don't know if that works or not. It doesn't,
Yeah.
But yes.
Also, I'm not too sure about the case back on is it the IWC Laureus that's been hand drawn by a child? That puts me off the watch. So the front of the watch is lovely. That's a weird looking case back.
The case back on that one actually is the Laureus is for they're trying to basically promote or help underprivileged children in sport, and they take a child who draws that. So it's not the most attractive, but you've got stick figures on the back of the watch.
Yeah.
But yes, Lucy.
It depends entirely on the collaboration, as Sam said, I think. And I do think if you love a watch, but you love one of the companies involved in it, and you dislike one of the other companies, that could potentially have an impact on whether you end up buying it or not. But I think it just depends on the watch itself. You were speaking about charities, and instantly the Roberto Clemente watch, Oris, popped into my head because I love that watch. I think it's incredibly well done. I don't support baseball. However, it's not an in-your-face baseball reference. So I could wear it happily. However, if people saw it, they go, oh, okay, maybe they saw the case back and they think, oh, she's obviously into baseball. And then they start talking to me about baseball. And I'm like, I didn't buy it for that reason. I have no idea about baseball. I just liked the watch. But yeah, it's entirely dependent on the collaboration itself. And it wouldn't stop me buying a piece. But if I didn't like the other brand, maybe that might have a bit of an impact.
So basically, I can't sell you the Black Panther anymore.
No.
Ouch. No, I don't sell AP. So
probably not even if you paid me.
All right. Christopher is all about sponsors and branding and Baba Richard deals. So go for it, Chris.
I actually don't really like collaborations that much. I mean, the charity ones are fine if it's not in your face and it's on the back, but did that Black Panther watch really need to be a collaboration? It's fine on its own merit. But for most watches, it almost is like a deterrent for me. I'd rather have the watch, be attractive and interesting to purchase on what it is as a watch in terms of its mechanics and design and anything innovative about it. So like for me, I guess my Seamaster is kind of a collaboration, but it's it's because he wore it, or Rolexes that someone took to Everest. Like, I don't mind something like that, but when it's like a Breitling for Bentley, I actually love the look of that watch, but when it has Bentley all over it and it's yes, Dan, there are exceptions to every rule, but
yes, a hideous white tonneau-shaped watch that costs $400,000. Absolutely an exception.
that's one exception. But yeah, so I would be more interested in the Breitling for Bentley if it was just the Breitling piece on its own.
All right, nice. Lucy, again, these are Chris's questions. How important? Oh, sorry, I think I have to go with Sam first, right? Or who did I start with? I've lost. Oh, Lucy. Yeah, perfect. How important is purchasing experience for you? How important, probably if you're shopping, how important is that experience? Yeah.
I think it's quite important. I don't know what, it's frozen. Yeah, I think it's quite important. You go into an AD and you have a good time. They're nice. They spend time with you. They really get to know what you like. It's consultative. There's no harsh pressures to actually purchase something. You're going to enjoy it more, and you're actually probably going to end up enjoying the watch that you then purchase more as well. If you go into a place and it's horrendous, the sales assistant's rude to you, they tell you no about everything. Rolex. They basically treat you like crap, but you do end up with the watch at the end of it. For me, that would put a little bit of a sour note on the purchase itself. I would look at it and be like, I love it, but getting my hands on it was awful, and I'd remember that every time I wore the watch. So having a good experience and building a good relationship with an AD is really important. Yeah, you look at it and and the person that sold it to me was really lovely, and it's then another memory that you have with the watch from the beginning. So yeah, pretty important.
Very true. Chris, you've shopped with me. How's your experience been? He's staying on mute. That's his
Sorry,
experience.
it wasn't clicking. Yeah, well, I'm still here, so it was pretty great, actually.
A+ for Karan.
Yeah, a year later. So,
Yeah.
I've never had a bad experience. I mean, I've only been shopping with maybe 3 or 4 different places, and they've all been really great. So, I mean, Karan was especially. I never even went into his store, and we built a really good relationship, I think, from my
I'd say the
standpoint.
same.
So I do. I mean, I guess I would have to have a bad experience to know how important it is. But since it's been always very positive, I think it's pretty important to me.
There you go, Sam.
So honestly speaking, I don't have a lot of experience from a buying point of view. I've kind of worked in the industry, so I'm more on the other side. So haven't sort of had to sort of build a relationship with an AD. But what I probably would say is sort of we'll go to a lot of Red Bar, well, when we could, a lot of Red Bar meetups, and having the opportunity to deal with the brands directly. So going to the boutiques, I think that makes a real difference. So again, like buying my Oris was off of going to various Oris events and meeting Rolf and just like learning about the brand directly. So I think luckily I'm quite close to London, so given the opportunity, I'd always rather go to the boutique directly than maybe to an AD. But I mean, I'll go to whoever gives me free champagne, really. So.
Come to Vegas, you'll get a lot of champagne.
Okay. Lucy, you heard that. We're going.
And that is really true. David Bryant said, come to my store and I'll make you train my employees, first of all, my colleagues. And I did do that to David last week. He was in the store buying a watch, but I told him to even train all my colleagues while buying a watch. So it's a win-win situation. This is a question from me. Finally, Chris, your list is over. If you had to buy a timepiece for your significant other, and there was this, and he probably has he's a watch aficionado and he has everything, and a budget of $5,000 or so, what would you buy? So you can start with Sam. Let's go with you. Let's start like that once again.
Oh, that's tough. Right, it'd be something that I'd want to wear. It's so tough. I don't know, off the top of my head, I'd maybe sort of, I don't know, I was gonna say sort of a Tudor, maybe. But then I've got more in my budget than that. It's too much. There's too many choices for 5,000. Yeah, again, it depends on the occasion. Is it something a little bit different? Is it an everyday watch? Omega's always a sort of a good safe choice, well made, good value for money. But then I don't know, I'd kind of, yeah, I'd need more specifications, I think.
All right, I'll up the budget to at least $10,000. So take
$10,000.
Yeah. Like a birthday,
know.
If you were buying a birthday present. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I would go Rolex. I'm not, controversially, I'm not a massive Grand Seiko fan. Sorry.
Don't be, no.
What else are there? Arnold and Son. We've learned the other day there's a few Arnold and Sons within that £10,000 budget. So off the top of my head, something like that. No, there's too many watches out there.
Or buy 2 watches for 5,000 each and
yeah,
call it a day,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Lucy?
I'm actually quite lucky in that me and my other half are really into watches, and he has quite a small wrist. So we do share, sometimes without his knowledge, but It's fine. Same watch box. I know full well that a friend of ours yesterday loaned us his Fears Brunswick with the red dial. There's only 2. It's perfect. Like, he's absolutely obsessed with it at the moment already. So 100% that one. And I know that it fits me too. It's a beautiful piece, beautiful, well made, and is within budget, I believe. Yeah, it's within budget. So definitely Fears Brunswick.
A lovely watch.
That's easy.
Chris, what would you do?
So I would buy something since he's a big collector, but you'd probably look at something that just came out. So there's a better chance that he hasn't just ran out and got it already. So maybe like a
Who's
Tudor
he?
silver, or she.
Okay,
Maybe.
I was just wondering.
I don't know why we're doing this. But
No,
Um,
I said significant other, so if
yeah.
it's your choice, I'm not. I'm
Okay.
not
Well, the
judging
Tudor
you.
silver, I think it's the in between size. So it'd be something that just came out, or Breitling, one of the premieres this year, and or if it's something like, I'm not a big fan of this, but like a Ming that, you know, it's a little bit harder to get, and you have to be kind of on top of things. But you can get something like that there's a better chance he doesn't have it. So it would have to, or he or she, and Ming's pretty popular, I think, with both genders. So yeah.
All right. You've taken YouTube to come out of the closet. All right.
Hey, it's 2021. Don't assume anything.
I am not. I'm just actually helping him out. We are helping him out.
There you go.
Yeah. Anyway, that was actually something that I was coming to, which you did say, Lucy, earlier. But how important is sharing timepieces with your significant other? That was my next question, but you answered it already. So, Sam, you want to start that off as well?
I don't have one to share one with, so
Okay.
I get to keep them all.
We're going to start pimping Sam out.
Yeah. Anyone wants to loan me their watches, and that's fine. But yeah, no, I think as long as there's sort of a mutual trust and understanding that it's going to be looked after, then yeah, definitely. I think if you can share, do it. You ideally need to be good at maybe resizing bracelets, because you know, I think if I've borrowed watches from friends or anything, then it's always like, oh, this kind of just fits. I'm always too lazy to resize the bracelet, so I think I probably just need to keep that in mind.
Very nice. Before we go to Lucy, I'm going to ask you this question because Lucy can also answer this. But is there one timepiece in your collection that you would not want to share with your significant other? So
I've got a vintage Zenith that I would probably be a little bit cautious about. And I did actually loan my Bremont. I had it on a, I think they call it vintage, but like a nubuck strap. And my friend was like, I want to wear it on a night out. So I was like, okay, fine, be careful with it. And when she gave it back to me in the morning, it had a water stain on the strap. I was like, damn it. So yeah. She didn't know.
she didn't know. Lucy.
Yeah, never loan anyone anything on a night out. You wear your G-Shock if you're going out. Yeah, so sharing watches is obviously very important. It's actually something me and my other half bonded on when we first started talking. Being a female in the watch industry is, or you know, in the watch world, I guess, is quite a rarity. So we clicked on that straight away. I'm very lucky that we do share similar wrist sizes, so I can steal a lot of his watches. He wears a lot on straps rather than bracelets, so I don't have to worry about anything there. He wouldn't wear it anyway because it's a tiny vintage Longines tank. I think it's 1940s. and it's just delicate. So I probably wouldn't want him to wear that. But he has a Grand Seiko, which I'm not allowed to wear out of the house. It's the only one he won't let me wear. It's the
Which one
red,
is it?
red maple dial.
Or the
Limit.
autumn?
No, it's not. It's not. I don't think it's the autumn one. It's beautiful, but they didn't make many of them. And he's
the one that was only available in Japan, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, if he was here, he'd know the reference because he's a nerd. I'll get the reference. I will get the reference. But yeah, it's the only one that I'm not allowed to wear outside of the house because he's pretty attached to it. So everything else is pretty
smart man.
Happy with. I'm quite clumsy with my watches, so like if I wear them, I really wear them. I don't baby them really. And he's obviously very aware of that. So it's quite smart.
Yeah. Well, me too. If I buy a new watch or I get a new timepiece, I make sure I go to a corner and make a scratch on it. So it's out of the way, done,
Okay.
finished, and now I don't mind beating it up. Chris, if there was one timepiece that you have in your collection that you do not want to share with your significant other, which one would it be?
So for me, that would be my Rolex GMT Master, just because that was my first nice watch, and it was something that I bought it for myself and for what's meant to me in my life. So yeah, it has nothing to do with them, and it just happens that it's a really nice watch. And I mean, if they like it, I'll if we're going to the same place, maybe I'll think about it. But other than that, it's they can make their own memories with their own pieces, I think. But other than that, though, I think I have other pieces that Grand Seiko that I wouldn't mind them wearing. So,
how many significant others do you have? They can wear. I just want to know.
Changes.
Because you keep saying they, he, she. I'm just wondering.
I don't know. Pronouns.
How many are you into?
Well, it's like watch it.
Oh wow. Whatever that meant. Yeah. But not the Rolex GMT. So Sam, how important is a complication timepiece to you? And that could include either date window, chronograph, annual calendar, perpetual calendar, minute repeater. How important is it for you on a timepiece?
I do like to have a watch with a date on it. I do actually use it multiple times a day to actually remind myself what date it is. GMT I'm not too worried about. Maybe if we start traveling again, I might actually get excited about that. Money no object. I would love to get again, tourbillons I'm not massively bothered about, but I would love to get a complication, love MB&F, like the Arnold and Son, the dial side True Beat. So mechanical watch that ticks, just something that's really thought about and complicated from that point of view. I would, money no object. I would love to spend money on more complicated watches as opposed to gold and diamonds and sort of rare.
MB&F is beautiful for that as well.
I love him. Yeah,
they do. Sorry, go ahead.
No, so I love Max Buser.
Somehow I think an MB&F personally looks a lot more feminine than masculine. I don't know why. I personally, it's just funny how I look at it. I mean, I love the brand, I love the design, but I think it looks, I shouldn't say more feminine, but I think it looks better on a lady than a man.
Yeah, I think that, the sort of the flying T, I forget which way around it is, but yeah, I think the flying T was made with women in mind. The one with the sort of the diamonds around it. I think it's really beautiful. More of the horological machines. I think Lucy has nicknamed one of them as well. Probably a little bit more masculine.
True.
Depending on the shape of it, how you're looking at it.
I know, exactly. Oh, this show is not PG at all. Go ahead, Lucy.
Yeah, I won't repeat what I called it, what I nicknamed it. Don't worry.
You can go right ahead.
Well, I love the HM9. Absolutely adore it. If money was no object, that would definitely be up there. But I nicknamed it the Space Dick because it's out of this world.
Yep. I did hear that. Yeah. Would be a perfect answer.
It's a really good fit for a name, isn't it? So yeah. Got the question now. It's too busy laughing.
How important complications are for you?
Complications, right? Yes. We actually had a chat about this on Time of the Week. So I don't really use complications that much. Yes, the date window is good. Although if you've ever seen any of my posts, most of the time the date is not correct because I forget to set it and I just don't care. Yeah, once we're allowed to travel again, maybe a GMT would be really good. Other than that, time. A jumping seconds would be fantastic. Like it's really, really cool. Money no object though. I'm gonna have to go with the JLC that they released. Cash 4 million, but you said money no object. Like it's
yes, no problem.
Crazy complications. It's beautifully made and it's really interesting. It's as a piece. So yeah, money no object, definitely that one. But an MBNF would be the perfect sweet spot. Definitely.
Yep, it's a beautiful timepiece. Chris, Tiff.
Yeah, so for me, I love complications just because that's what really attracted me to watches is the engineering that goes behind it, just because I could never do anything like that. So it always just really impressed me that they could figure out something like that. And even if the value or anything like that was they weren't the prices they were and things like that, or status symbols, I just think I could still be fascinated by just how complex and crazy it is. Like you could always just look at it and think about all the design and people that went into making them. So for me, I just love even a minute repeater that you can't see, like a lot of Patek's are still interesting to me. Even though no one's ever going to be a normal person, wouldn't ever really be that amazed by it, but you'll always know that it's such a cool complication and just how much work went into those. So
right. But you put in a lot of work also making those Excel sheets, remember?
Yeah, exactly.
According to Dan.
I know
how complicated it could be, right? So Dan has actually, we've got about 10 minutes. So Dan has, we'll ask the guests to, the panel to ask questions, but Dan has a great question. So Sam, you can take it from there.
Any vintage watch? Any vintage? I feel like I had one up my sleeve, but I can't think what it is now. A Berthier watch would be nice. So what's that? 1999. Something like that. I don't know. I saw we had in the shop a GMT Master Pepsi. I think that was like 97, and that was just really nice size. Bezel had just discoloured just to a nice sort of pinky purple. Actually, there's a Sea Dweller that we had in recently as well. Sort of ghosted bezel, and the loom was sort of really creamy. So yeah, something maybe like that. But then equally happy with a dress watch. We had a Patek Calatrava, I think it was, in recently. Loved that. Vintage watches is just, there's so many options. Maybe a Breitling 806, wouldn't say no to one of those.
You gave someone some great pleasure right there. Saying Breitling 806.
Or a Premier, all Premiers are very pretty as well. yeah, you could just, there's so many gorgeous vintage pieces that you could go a bit mad with, I think. Yeah.
Thank you, Lucy.
Yeah, like the world of vintage watches is a rabbit hole that is never ending. Like you start looking at one thing and then you end up like 20 miles later and your list of wants just grows and grows. But for me, I would probably have to go with a vintage Vacheron 1921.
Nice.
I saw one of the new ones recently in Harrods, and the moment he brought this watch out, I was just like, will they accept a kidney in in replacement for it?
Did you
Because
see it in platinum? In the
stunning.
platinum one, or did you see the white gold or
White gold, the one that's all they had.
The larger one, not the smaller one, right?
I think it was it was the reduced one.
It was the reduced size.
It was it was reduced size. It literally just fit my wrist like an absolute dream. Open case back as well. But a vintage one would be incredible, absolutely incredible. Yeah, that or a Calatrava. So I think they're just classic, very classic pieces.
The 1921 is a stunning timepiece.
Oh, I'm obsessed with it.
Did you see it on the red strap? Did you? Or the burgundy, rather.
Burgundy, yeah, the burgundy one, which I thought was a beautiful color for it. Worked so well.
It works beautifully, and there's also a midnight blue strap that works beautifully with it too.
Just any. I don't think I'd care if it came on like a bright yellow crocodile strap. Like, just give me the watch.
Yeah, it is a stunning piece. Chris?
Well, I'm not super familiar with vintage, but I did see Dan got a really cool vintage Breitling that I think looks amazing. Obviously, like money no object. I'd just like a Patek $24.99 or something. But it seems like everyone's been like getting into vintage now, and it's been, the prices aren't as approachable. But if there's something I would say that I could get into, maybe a IWC caliber 89, something without crazy lugs. I don't know if I like that. Weird. There's a lot of versions with weird lugs, but and I do like vintage Rolexes, like a 5513, but they're just impossible to get in. You just don't know what goes into them. So I'm just a little worried about, the servicing and things like that.
Well, with a Patek or a Rolex or a Vacheron vintage, I don't think you should have any issues with service.
Right.
There's still, I would be scared about an independent brand.
Right.
If it doesn't exist. But yeah, with those brands, I think they still maintain their tools. They still maintain everything. I mean, you ladies know, Sam, you've been in that industry as well. So yeah. But before we ask another question, I would like Sam and Lucy to speak about their channel. There are a few people that don't know about it. So if you would like to give it a plug, go for it.
Lucy, you're muted. Just in case I need you.
I was letting you go. I was like,
you guys get only 30 seconds each. 30 seconds each, otherwise I mute.
It's amazing. We talk about watches. We sometimes drink wine. It's fun. It's occasionally informative. We just read from screenshots or whatever people tell us in the comment section. But yeah, it's just I did have a really nice Alpamera for sale. Yeah, that was beautiful. Wish I kept that. But yeah, it's good fun. It's every Wednesday. It's called Time of the Week. We're under the Scottish Watchers umbrella. So if you listen to the Scottish Watchers podcast, we're kind of within that family. Lucy, take over.
To actually find us, if you search Scottish Watchers Live, not Scottish Watchers, Scottish Watchers Live, you'll be able to find us and all our videos on there. And we're also now on podcast as well. So in case you didn't want to see our mugs, you can catch up with us.
I'll put the link in the description as well.
SWL Lugs Edition. So yeah, it's great fun. It's really, really good. Get to chat watches with some fantastic ladies. I mean, our motto is where we always talk watches and occasionally drink wine.
Well,
I drink every day. So.
Basically, Sam talks watches and you drink wine, right?
No.
I can talk between sips.
It's the other way around. Lucy does all the research, and then I'm like last minute, like, oh god, I'm not too sure.
Sam will pop up like 15 minutes before, like, I have no idea what I'm doing today.
Quick, tell me information.
But it's really good, great fun. And we're also, obviously also on Instagram as well, which gets manned. So it's lovely. It's been great fun. I think we've been doing it since Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas or January, I think. Yeah. It's good. So live every Wednesday, and then obviously you can watch back on YouTube at any time.
And do you do it at 5 o'clock UK time as well, or what time?
7
7.
o'clock,
So that's 11 o'clock here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We always
Nice.
we always ask stateside Sam like why she doesn't drink, and then we remember that it's like 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
There's a question for you, ladies, right there, and Chris.
The Jensen's cannot sport if all vice versa. Which ladies watch or watch marketed for ladies with the gents on the panel want to sport? Well, that's a question for the gents.
Oh, that is a question for it.
So we got to guess like what ladies watch we think you would like.
Correct.
Is that what he means? And then
I'll
you
take
have to
a hot
guess.
pink one. I guess so. Yeah.
Hot, obviously.
Actually, I like the Oyster Perpetual.
The
Yeah.
OP. No,
I think OP.
I don't know about
Ladies
that.
watch or watch marketed for ladies. You know, a lot of I would actually the new smaller size ladies chronomat, actually a lot of men have bought it. You know, and also the ladies large size. I don't know if you remember the black and white ceramic Tag Heuer Formula One. Was it? You know, yes, it was a Formula One. That was a good size timepiece. So,
yeah.
I think the line between, well, hopefully, we're very hopeful that the line between men's and women's watches is blurring.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's blurring on the other way. For instance, I mean, women are wearing larger timepieces.
Yeah.
You know, you wouldn't see me wearing a 29mm Omega Constellation. So
I don't think I would wear that though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's beautiful though, but you know, you wouldn't see it. I mean, Chris, what do you think? Would you like to wear a 29mm Omega Constellation?
I did have a vintage Elgin that was basically that. So yeah, I guess if the design isn't too feminine, something like Rendon Naples, which that's one of my favorite pieces. But
You would wear the Queen of Naples?
no, I'm saying I wouldn't, but
Oh.
I would love to like have it in the collection.
To wear it?
No, to just have.
Okay.
And
So
then if
like a
there is-
piece
it
of
would
art.
sit in a box.
yeah.
So you
Yeah.
could give that to your significant other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There you go.
There
So,
you go. We got
yeah,
that answer out of
there's
you
one.
finally.
Yeah. So
Sam,
I
Lucy,
would
you have a
that.
question from Dan?
Out of Rick and Ricky, which one is your favourite and why? Oh, which one is your favourite?
Yeah. It's a tough one, isn't it? It's like picking your favourite child.
A little bit. Do feel sorry for both of them.
Yeah, they're both fab. They're both fab.
Oh no, I must drink.
Actually, Dan did say the 36mm OP is a great option for all.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
36 is like such a sweet spot for all wrist sizes, male, female, microwave, whatever you identify as. Like it's such
Right.
good all-round size for
Microwave.
everybody.
I haven't heard that before.
I don't.
Well, you know, a perfect example would be a Gégé Reverso Duo. It can be definitely worn,
Yeah,
both ways.
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. Gorgeous.
Maybe something that's
Okay.
like a different shape.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of blurs those lines again, doesn't it?
Definitely does. Richard Mille one, right, Chris?
Of course.
Yeah. Do you have any questions for the ladies before we end this chat today?
No, I just want to thank you
No.
for coming on Mother's Day.
Mm.
So, I
No,
thank
we
you.
don't have more questions for you. Microwaves.
I need to. Sorry, guys, I have to head out. So now.
All right, Chris. We all heading out, so we can
Okay.
say bye.
Mic drop
Once again,
out.
Yeah.
yeah, that's it. I'm done.
Go.
Well, once again, happy Mother's Day to everybody, whoever's a mother. Chris, you just sent me a private chat that you need to head out also. But uh, Sam, Lucy, thank you for joining us, and for everybody who's joining in right now, please subscribe to Time of the Week as well. They have a great show. I think, what day is it? Wednesday, correct?
Wednesday, 7 p.m. UK time.
Perfect. And Chris, thank you for joining.
Thank
Wish your
you.
mom a happy Mother's Day as well.
I will. I will. One more.
Thank you, guys. Oh, he just left.
I'm
Gone.
gone.